Now, viewers of PrisonPlanet.tv and radio listeners know that every week or so we just keep giving you an update with Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, who served 3 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and had the famous war correspondent reporter Michael Hastings embedded with him off and on for quite a long time. They became good friends. The feds visited Michael Hastings the day before. That's now been admitted. The feds have now admitted they had a file on him, and they lied about that. Just to recap here, his car blew up a few months ago. His wife was the spokesperson for the National Security Council. That's the very top of the pyramid, the very top of the pyramid of the New World Order. It's as high a level as it gets in government. There's some tentacles that go into it that are even higher from the big combines, but that's the group actually, running the whole system for the globalist. The nukes, the weapons, the control systems, the hit teams. I mean, that's Central Command. That is the top of the pyramid. And she worked there. Very interesting point. I'll just throw that out there. He said, I've got the big story. They're coming after me. They're going to raid us. I'm going off the radar. Boom, car blows up. Witnesses then say we saw the car blow up in the middle of the road. That's now been confirmed. Engine blows out the other direction. That doesn't happen hitting a tree. All that said, they now released the coroner's report to the LA Times. It's up on INFOWARS.com right now. And they say, oh, he had methamphetamine in him. He had DMT in him. It's a hallucinogen that lasts 5 minutes, folks. He had marijuana in him. Well, there's hundreds of things that will give you a false positive for methamphetamine. And his family's come out. We have an article here saying he didn't use methamphetamine. That's not true. So my whole point is this looks very, very, very suspicious. And they usually say you're on drugs when you die mysteriously. I've always said that if they kill me, they'll pull something like that. I don't use illegal drugs, folks. Just have that on record. So I wanted to just briefly get his friend, Staff Sergeant Biggs, on, because he's the only guy, when he got the email saying the feds are after me, no, everybody else got that, the family, the friends, they were all scared to release it. And he's the guy that said no. Friends said the feds visited him. The Young Turks knew that and didn't report it. Now that's come out. So this thing stinks to high heaven. I want to believe he was on drugs and it was a regular car wreck, because I want to believe they didn't kill him. But my gut tells me this just gets worse and worse. And Staff Sergeant Biggs, thanks for popping in with us. There's a lot of facets to this that smell. What's your take on it?
Yeah, just a lot of these things that keep showing up in the toxicology report. I mean, if it had no effect on the accident, why are they naming? They're just like running off and naming all this different stuff, but then they go and say, well, there's nothing wrong. They're saying that he was on mushrooms, apparently, because that's what DMT is. It's like a psilocybin. There's just all kinds of random stuff. And the methamphetamine, I mean, he was known to be on Ritalin, so I don't know if that's a contributing factor to something that showed positive in the test.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They've put hundreds of millions of people worldwide on these drugs, and now, that's right, he was a Ritalin from childhood, and then the people get basically used to it to operate, and then now that's like an excuse for why his car blew up. It's just very strange.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking over the police report right now, and it's saying that, because of, striking the tree, and it was instantaneous death. I mean, if you look at the tree, you can tell this doesn't add up.
Well, what about them saying that he was charred beyond recognition, so they had to cremate him, but now the autopsy says they got fingerprints and that wasn't true?
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy.
Well, I mean, stories are always going to change and things, but, I mean, the fact is, if I ever say, I'm going off the radar, they're coming after me, boom, I mean, obviously something smells here. And the fact that they ridicule anybody that questions, I think that's a big red flag right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are questioning everybody who's questioning the whole incident itself. A lot of the people I know that have the same viewpoints as I do about what happened, they're all being ridiculed, and everyone just wants to throw that conspiracy tag on there when there's just so many questions that aren't answered and so many things don't add up. I mean, you've got to be mental to not think that there's something more than just an accident.
Well, I mean, I remember, saying the NSA spying on you with keyword systems, reading the EU Commission reports, congressional reports, and people said I was lying or crazy when it was admitted 15 years ago they were doing this. I mean, this news isn't breaking. I mean, I guess if my wife ever caught me in bed with another woman, hypothetically, I'll just get up and say, you're a conspiracy theorist. And she'll go, there's the woman right there. And I'll go, no, honey. No, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the report says partially charred remains, heavily charred over the head, and that's it. Just the rest of that is just, you know, some fractures and stuff from, you know, banging around in there. But why was just the face heavily charred?
Who knows what's really going on? I mean, we could really have theories and say he was really a secret operative, and they just put a cadaver in there and blew it up, you know, to make their secret agent go undercover, and that's why his wife's not upset, you know, because she's a secret agent herself. I mean, she basically is a former flack for the National Security Council. And of course, I'm being hypothetical. I don't believe that. But I mean, you could say anything at this time because the whole story has been proven that they've been lying to us from day one. We now know the FBI was investigating him, and they said they weren't. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the FBI came out right off the bat and said that they weren't investigating him at all. And I didn't know anything about that. No one knew the FBI was involved until I released an email. But now, through some of their phone calls and correspondences and an email, they said I'm supposed to be getting all the information that they had on him on September 9th.
Well, listen, I know that you're on your lunch break there at a restaurant joining us via video Skype, so it's breaking up a bit. Anything else, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, that you'd like to add about this entire saga?
I just hope that everybody remembers him as a good man, and, you know, I'm going to keep looking into this because I don't think it's an accident.
Yeah, I don't think it's an accident either, and I think her behavior, I mean, people called it Stepford wife, just like she just won an Academy Award. She's so happy on Piers Morgan saying, you know, he died, you know, naturally, she thinks, when she told you she was going to take down whoever did this at the funeral and thought it was foul play. I mean, this is like a Cloak and Dagger movie. I mean, don't you want to believe he just died in a car wreck? It's not like we're just saying this because we want to say it. All the evidence points towards foul play.
Of course it does. I mean, it would be a lot easier, a lot less stressful to just go ahead and put this to rest and, you know, remember him for who he was. But there's so many inconsistencies and things right now. There's just so many things don't add up. And if we don't ask questions, then we're not doing him justice at all.
Well, I know a lot of momentum's heating up with investigators looking into this, independent groups. That's why they're getting so nervous. I think this has been added as a smear, but, you know, we could be wrong. But obviously we'll track this as it continues to unfold because it affects not just us individually, but the press and a free country as a whole. I guess the best place for folks to follow your updates on this is your Twitter. What's the best Twitter for folks to follow you?
At Rambo Biggs. RAMBOBIGS.
All right, Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, thank you for your courage to come on and continue to cover this. We'll talk to you soon. All right, folks, we're going to go to break and come back. It's got an update from him, and we're going to come back and go right to your phone calls. Our viewers have demanded it, so now you're going to get it. More pro-Second Amendment gun shows in the month of June.
What we've learned is you cannot hide behind an I-beam when there's a 50 cal present.
Brothers in Arms, 50 cal ammo review, and more. Coming in the month of June to the InfoWar.